We're really talking with our team. We're just going to work on it. We're just going to get better. A lot of other things that we thought we did very, very well. What we wanted to do a better job of, we did. I think we can shore up a few things, like getting Gabe and Max a little deeper in the corners, keep the court spread a little bit more. Those are the things we're really working on right now to try to improve, along with taking care of the ball. If you take care of it, we can make that 10, 11. It's going to be worth 10 points a game, I bet.
When you look at practice film, did you notice players stepping out of bounds then? And did you take a look at it closer today, or what do you do about that?
Well, we didn't practice today. We watched a lot of film, and we walked through their stuff. I think we're still a little tired from the trip. I really do. I mean, it's a problem when you play in those. I'm hearing a lot of coaches saying the same thing. So, but over the last month, I don't see a lot of that. We really don't. We talked about it. We do see some of the turnovers, though. So I don't see as much of the stepping out of bounds stuff. I mean, if you look at it, it's just such a casual by everybody, a lot of different guys. So we'll clean that up somehow.
You have a breakdown of force and unforced.
Oh yeah. We felt last night that almost 12 or 13 of them were unforced completely. We gave maybes to a couple. I remember when Julius turned around and he just slapped that down. Well, you should give that to the defense. But who the hell should let that ball go? So we kind of blamed us on that too. And we do have, we're having over 2/3 of in our minds are unforced, which is borderline ridiculous.
How do you see them taking it? Is it a priority for them?
I think it is, but when I said that there's a couple guys in the team averaging 3 turnovers a game, and there's some teams in the top 10 that are averaging 7, 6, and 8 turnovers a game. 2 guys are doing as many as a whole team. I think that hit home a little bit. It is going to be a sore spot for me. I think it's going to be a sore spot for them. I don't think they're doing it on purpose, and I don't think they just got their heads in the clouds and are not performing. I mean, we've had some weird ones too, like a couple of swinging ones, a couple of, don't write it, but I'll say it, some weird calls. I mean, weird calls. When we look back on the tape, we're going, wow. And those are turnovers. So it's a combination, but take nothing against anybody else. We've done enough to damage ourselves, and that's what we've got to control.
People did say the same travel on purpose.
Yeah, he's for a left-handed kid, he kind of starts it with his right foot, and he creates some problems in there for himself. A little hard to correct right now, but what we're going to do is we just told him he's got to slow down. And if he doesn't slow down, we're not going to go to it as much. And that's kind of the way we got to do it. I mean, there's going to be some guys are going to get it one way or another.
How did that drive that he had for the dunk on Root for him? Because that's what you wanted him to do.
Yes, sweep and go, right? And that's where having no problems, we don't get to practice much, like when we go to the Bahamas. We felt like there was a lot of slippage, and when we do drive, is the guy in the corner. If the guy's not in the corner, now you have no release valve to get it to him. You turn it over, you try to kick it in instead of out. We did feel that we shot better from the 3 because we had a lot more kick outs last night. Inside out passes. Guards penetrating, kicking out. Tyson did a great job with his 10 assists. Could have had a couple more, What you like, that's missing a little bit. If Draymond was on the bench and he was one short of a double-double, it would have been my life in my own hands not to make sure he gets that, especially if you're up. And Markey had a chance 3 times to get, just like, he's got to get a little more hungry, especially since the Big Ten keeps the double-double stat, That's what I'm looking for.
I'm sorry, some of your great teams have been fast as heck in February, March, January, but they've gone through turnover spats. Yeah. So this is not. So where does this line up with some of those past experiences?
It's not, but we have 2 new point guards. That's one thing, and We did have some issues, but I'm not sure it was 19, 18. 2 losses and a win, 19 turnovers. That's beyond
Acceptable.
Good word. That's beyond acceptable. If a bad one was 50, but we have 3 or 4 of them that have been 19 and 120, I think.
Self-created ones.
I think so. I think some of that's focus. I think some of it's, get a lead. I mean, somebody said it last night. I think they're really true about it. We go on a 16 or 18 or 4 run.
20 to 4.
20 to 4 run. And we look like a real team. And then when we turn it over, it kind of comes in threes, Seems like we have 2 or 3 in a row and then a bad shot or a foul for no reason, so they're clumpies of things. And some things probably we're playing, more people. We're trying to figure out who should be in there. Like Monty didn't get much time to get a hell of a job for what he did. So I think that's part of it too. And everybody talks about that. As your year goes on, you shrink your playing group a little bit. You hate to shrink in November. Now as it gets to December, probably start shrinking a little bit more, and yet we added one in Pierre, but he's played pretty well, So as soon as I say you can't do it, that's the difference with Purdue and everybody else in the country, if you ask me. Now Purdue's every one of them is a veteran, so that makes a difference.
Tom, when you look back defensively, did you feel as good last night, or even better, maybe?
I felt like we really played well defensively. We hit those 3 threes late. Or they would have shot 22% from the 3 and 35% from the field. I mean, that's phenomenal against good teams. Way below their percentages coming in, and holding scorers to 0 points. And that was an objective and a goal. And that was a hell of a time, too. I don't think we rebounded quite as good. Still got to get more rebounds out of our wings, Like Max now, he's got to get back in there rebound. Gabe's got to get back in there. Consistency is where I'd like to see improvement on the team. But literally 7 games, 8 games, 8 games in. I hope it starts to come around. But if you look around the country, a lot of people, which is what I told everybody at the beginning of the year, it's going to be a different year this year in a lot of ways. Some of it was coming back from COVID, some of it's the transfer rules, some of it's just kids and where they're at mentally.
You looked at the turnover. Sometimes young teams evaluate that, right? But it doesn't seem necessarily to be. Is there a point where they're almost so worried about it it's detrimental?
You know what? It's funny because that's what parents would say. Parents would say that because they're gonna have somebody to play with. But there is a responsibility when you play in a program like this. And so if they are getting nervous about it, they should be. If it is hindering, I think the most famous line that I've heard for 30 years is taking my game away. Only if you take it away. If you force me to take it away, I'll take it away. If Gabe can't keep his feet straight, yes, we're not going to give the ball as often. So, I don't believe that they're overthinking it. I mean, some of those ones on the ball, give it to them, stepping out of bounds, is that overthinking? I think that's underthinking. They've got to be more aware of what they are, stay more focused on what the job is, and understand that turnovers is an issue. But I think so many, and as I said before you got here, so many are of the ridiculous nature. I'm thinking seriously, 2/3 of them are. And so if you average 16, 17, and you get 11, 12, then you're always going to have a couple that way. But that's just too many. What didn't happen the other night compared to Kansas and Butler, we didn't give them up for touchdowns. There were a lot of dead ball ones. They were fouled for no reason. Illegal speed, stepping out of bounds. Those kind of defense has been so good, at least it gives us a chance. The problem is getting 50 shots. We want to get 65. We got 49 minutes. That's what the problem is.
One of the things that AJ said, you know, I think that his was one that went the other way. He said, it's all kind of touring a little bit. You gotta maturing a little bit where it's like you gotta eliminate the pizzazz and home run plays and you're working more of the simple.
If he said that, I'd kiss him. But when you're looking over there and throwing over here and trying to do magic, and that's a very good point he's made. And we talk about that a lot. Go for singles, go for singles, go for singles. And that's why I think if we get in there and kick out, we got enough shooters. We really do. Might not seem like it, although at times last night it looked a little better. But you know, I'm spending the whole time talking about this, and believe me, there were a lot of positives about last night. And that was not a bad team. That was a good team that in one game they got upset at home. I beat some decent people. And I thought they had good talent. We closed the water off on a couple of those guys. And we did execute some things very well. It's just that turnovers are depressing, you know, for the coach, for the players, for the fans, for the media. You come away, let's say he doesn't hit those 3 threes and we win by 20. There's not one guy in this room that would have bet we would have won by 20. Is there?
I had you by 4, yeah.
By 4, okay. So that was probably pretty good, believe it or not. So there's not one of us who we still wouldn't have felt good. So if he doesn't hit those 3 shots, we still wouldn't have felt good. I wouldn't have felt good. Because I know that I'm playing for the big picture too, in the big picture against good, great teams, or teams that are going to play. What happened to them last night? I was quite upset with them too. They had 16 turnovers. We're not a pressing team. So,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
that's it.
And when you play great teams, big picture, you're going to need some perimeter defense. And last night you gave a great assignment to a freshman. What did you learn there?
I swear that was the underlying part of the whole thing that probably didn't get looked upon as much. Max's defense on that kid is phenomenal. I mean, as good as anybody I've had in a while. You know, Gary Harris. And so that was a big plus. Big plus. I think Julius is making big strides. You know, he's making big strides. Marky, it's the consistency. You know.
Chris Mack said the defense, you guys made them feel it. What did you do? I mean, is that something that you guys form identity that's starting to
well, yeah,
take
because
over?
last year was the most very severe in my career. You know, we gave up 42, 40, whatever it was, and I started that this summer. And we're not going to do that. We might lose every game, but we're not going to do that. Both our 3-point and our overall has been a lot better. You know, even in the games. I mean, I look at 2 teams that shot 40-something, 48, 9% against us, but they were because of the turnovers. You know, Baylor and Kansas, and so. You know, that part of it, the actual half-court defense, and our transition defense has been pretty good when we can defend it.
These guys set the expectations too for you when they have those big runs and play so go easily.
Yeah, that's right. And shouldn't you expect that to be more consistent now that we're wrong? That with 3 freshmen playing on the perimeter and 2 guards that really hadn't played much in that position. Yeah, then it's a little harder. You know, those point guards still make a big difference, as we know.
Toledo thought?
What do you know about Toledo?
I know that, you know, I've known Todd forever. We almost hired him here as a GA. He runs a lot of good stuff. Monty is he's scouted. He's very impressed with them. They got all guys that can shoot it. They don't have a lot of depth, but the 5 guys that play are all averaging a double digits, close to it. They got bigs that can shoot it. They had some probably 4 men who can drive it. They got a real good player out of Detroit that is averaging 22 a game. We haven't had many of those yet that have averaged that kind of number. So it'll be good to see if we can lock down a little bit better now on a guy like the kid from Kansas. You know, did we learn a lesson that day that We didn't guard him with a fish net, so we're going to guard a little better.
Anything else, guys?
Appreciate it.
Now that the phones are off.